Today I'm going to focus on how we are enabling for our customers, how we are enabling automated provisioning in multi-vendor, multi-ecosystem environment. I'll start with a brief introduction of who we are. So we are a system integrator. We provide solutions and services exclusively for digital service providers. We are part of a larger Zaware group, and our key services and offerings include 6 areas. One is robotics process automation, in which our key solution offerings is Talibots. Our second key offering is SD and NFV, and I'm going to focus on that in the next 20 minutes. Our third key offering is artificial intelligence and machine learning, and I'm going to focus on what kind of algorithms we are building to enable the closed loop assurance in SD and NFV. Our fourth key offerings is IoT, and our traditional key offerings includes OSS and BSS services along with BPO services. We also have technology practices for microservices and DevOps that we are leveraging across all our practices. With that, first I would like to highlight what we have actually delivered with automated provisioning. What benefits we have bring to our customers, and then I'll walk through the journey what we actually have done. So there are 3 key benefits that I would like to highlight. The first key benefit is we were able to reduce the time to launch new services. Initially, before SD and NFV, it used to take 12 to 18 months, and where we are today is we are able to launch services within the span of 2 to 3 months with our customers. The second key benefit that I would like to highlight is reduced time to onboard VNFs. When we started the journey, it took almost a year with building the foundation framework, doing the POCs, understanding the specifications available, and so on. Today, we are in a phase where we can onboard parallelly up to 5 VNFs within a span of 2 to 3 months. The third key benefit that I would like to highlight is reduced service delivery time for our end consumers, for customers. So this is something it used to take around 1.5 months to 2 months. We are in a phase when we can really deliver a service within a span of 2 days, less than that in some cases. So let me give you a perspective of 2 of our customers, what kind of services that they are offering in the market so that you can align with the kind of benefits we brought. So one of our key customer is in Europe. They provide digital services such as mobile, broadband, and television. The key VNFs that they are onboarding includes SD-WAN, virtual CPE, virtual EPC, virtual IMS, virtual CDN, virtual route reflector, virtual firewall, and so on. We have been engaged in their journey to refine the orchestrator design. We've been engaged in defining the Mano user stories along with the overall program governance. The third key area where we are focusing actively on automation is the VNF engineering part. The other areas where we are focusing is how we can onboard virtual CPEs or other VNFs via the portal. So we're defining the self-service portals. The areas where we are, 2 other key areas where we are automating is DevOps framework and testing automation framework. So I'll touch all those pieces in a little while in the next slides. Let me briefly give you an overview of our second customer. This is a key customer in US where we've been working for almost 10 plus years, and recently, almost 2 years back, they started on the SD and NFV journey. The key services that they are offering to their wholesale customers, to their enterprise customer, are the key one being Carrier Ethernet, E-Line, EXS. They are offering optical wave services, they are offering SD-WAN services, they are offering bandwidth calendaring, they are enabling broadband element provisioning. So just to give you a perspective of what kind of services we are leveraging or we are offering jointly with our customers. Again, in this scenario, the footprint where we are focusing on automation is southbound interfaces, northbound interfaces, how we can templatize the service templates or service configurations, how we can automate with the DevOps frameworks, with the testing automation framework, and last but not least, how we can enable the closed loop assurance, what kind of machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms that we are building as a journey to the closed loop assurance. So I'll drill down onto 9 key areas where we are focusing on automation. So let me start with the first key area. The first focus area is the northbound interfaces. This is where we are interfacing the global, multi-domain, multi-vendor orchestrator with the northbound OSS and BSS application. The key challenge that we have faced in this area is a lack of open APIs with the northbound proprietary monolithic application. In many cases, we are building our own custom APIs to enable that integration as a part of automation. The second key challenge that we faced on the northbound part was, as earlier you also highlighted, was having a single source of truth, whether it's like, say, for example, inventory data. So in these cases, we have also done as a prerequisite, we are doing OSS transformation, how we can consolidate inventory data from 8 to 9 systems into one application, or we can federate the inventory data. This is an example scenario. The second key area where we are focusing on automation is how we can templatize the service configuration, whether it is templatizing definition of E-line services, EXS services, SD-WAN services. So this has been our second key area. The third key area where we are focusing is on the southbound integration, whether it is integration using Yang or REST config to the SDN controllers, it's an open flow controllers, or we are integrating to the legacy network via EMS. In this case, it is CLI, or in some cases, REST-based interfaces. And in some cases, we are directly interfacing to the network appliances. Again, the key challenge that we faced was the network programmability, the lack of network programmability of the legacy appliances. The other key challenge that everybody faces in this industry is bridging the gap between the IT and the network skill set. The fourth key area that I would like to highlight where we are automating is how we can make enhancements to switches and routers. So the key area we are focusing is how we can really configure switches and routers to enable centralized configuration, how they can leverage Yang model. Now, as you know, many of the vendor features are not enabled via Yang model, and there is a lack of standard configuration. And as also mentioned in the previous slide, we have a lack of legacy network programmability. So in many cases, we end up building a CLI-based interfaces. On top of it, we had to build a Python-based APIs that could be then integrated with the Yang Explorer. The fifth key area that I would like to focus on where we are automating is VNF engineering. We've spoken about VNF engineering for quite some time. Where we are focusing is how we can build data plane accelerators to really onboard the VNFs. The other key area where we are focusing is porting of the VNFs on different hypervisors, porting of the VNFs on different hardware platforms. The sixth key area where we are focusing on automation is Vim integration. So integrating cloud OpenStack with the DSP cloud infrastructure. Again, some of the key challenges that we are facing out here is also NFVI visibility. So again, we are trying to build, in some cases, a unified dashboard, either federating the information from underlying UIs and so on. So these are the 6 key areas. I know we are in a crunch of time. Let me focus on the 7th key area where we are trying to do the automation. So one is the DevOps framework, and the second is the testing automation framework. In these 2 areas, what we are leveraging is open source tools like GitHub, like Jenkins, like Ansible, but what we are doing on top of it is building our own frameworks so that we can automate the lifecycle for release deployment, right from a planning to the deployment. The second key area in this is we are building our own testing frameworks. Like we have used a robotics framework based on which we can really automate the testing, whether it's a northbound APIs, whether it is southbound APIs, whether it is interoperability testing, whether it is simulation of data across multiple domains. So these are the key areas that we have been focusing on. And some of the key advantages is we were able to expedite the release deployment as well as the testing lifecycle. The 8th key area where we are focusing on automation is the closed loop assurance. There are 3 key areas that we are focusing mainly from a closed loop assurance perspective. One is how we can do proactive prediction, whether it is a prediction of fault events, whether it is a prediction of performance events, whether we can predict the traffic pattern. So these are the 3 key areas we are focusing on. And in this case, whether I can predict in the next 15 minutes what kind of fault events can happen, in next 30 minutes what can happen, in next 2 hours what can happen, and based upon that, we are putting our automation framework. Again, initially, the key challenges that we faced were a lack of sufficient real-time or near real-time data on SD and NFV events. In this case, we had to then explore our network nodes as well as leverage legacy service assurance information so that we could train our models and determine the right training model, the right model for doing the AI and ML-based algorithms. The ninth key area where we are focusing is on the open source solution hardening. In many cases, let me take one good example related to one of our key customer where we are implementing a virtual CDN solution. One of their key use cases is how they can do a traffic steering in MPLS network, and they want to use an ODL SDN controller. So how we can really optimize, first of all, deploy ODL controller, optimize it for that particular key use case is what we are focusing on. So what is the right combination of services, modules, how we can implement it, the auditing and logging capabilities. These are the areas where we are focusing on to optimize the overall service provisioning. So to summarize, to enable automated provisioning, these are the 9 key areas that we are focusing on. Southbound integration, northbound integration, we can templatize the service configuration, focusing on the enhancements related to router and switches, VNF engineering, how we can integrate Vim Manager with the orchestrator, the DevOps frameworks and the testing automation framework, the closed loop assurance, and of course, the open source solution hardening. Last but not least, we are also focusing on the solution platform advisory. This is a key part, picking up the right combination of open source solution, picking the right combination of vendor-specific solutions, really help us in the automation path. I would quickly touch the key challenges and mitigations. I've covered most of them, but I would like to highlight 2 key points. The 2 success criteria that we see in all our deployments is vision alignment across the organization and management sponsorship. And the second key area which keeps on momentum going on is early wins. Whether you are able to do the early wins on automation with the northbound, southbound integration, whether it's with testing framework, whether it is with DevOps framework, but giving an early wins is key part to keep the momentum going on. One last slide that I would like to touch again, highlight is the learnings. There are 4 key learnings that we have taken from our existing deployments. One is a model-driven template. So this is, we have been able to do the network abstraction based upon the Yang model, and we were able to templatize some of the service configuration, whether it's for E-line, whether it is for E-access, and so on. The second part that I would like to highlight is API-driven automated CRUD. This is where, based upon the user-driven parameters, we were able to automate the API creations. We only had to define APIs for service, for create operations, and we were automatically able to generate the APIs for redeployment, for update, for delete, and so on. The third key learning that we have is transactional guarantees. Because of templatized configuration, because of the API auto-driven configuration, we were able to reduce good amount of misconfigurations, and that really helped us to enable fail-safe operations. The last but not least, we are enabling the closed loop assurance journey. We are now able to integrate with the CSP data analytics, with the CSP big data lakes, and we are able to do the telemetry forecasting and analysis. That really helps us using our machine learning algorithms, better error prediction, as well as demand forecasting. So again, I would like to end with the 3 benefits that we've been able to deliver for our customers. First, we were able to reduce the time to launch new services. Second, we were able to reduce the time to onboard new VNFs. And third, we were able to reduce the time to really deliver the end service to the end consumer of the customers, operators' customers. That's all from my side. Thank you for your time. And if you need to reach me, here are my contact details. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes.
Rick Bauer from MEF. One of your previous slides talked about getting the IT and the networking skill sets. Yeah, right there.
Yes.
Getting the IT and network skill set combinations right, the people. What are you doing to train your people? Are you certifying them? And I work for MEF certifications, so why aren't you working with us?
Yeah. So, no, that's a very good question. So definitely what we have built together is training models. If people are coming from a network background, how we can train them on a basic skill set of IT, like Python skill set. basic knowledge of API and so on. So that's one set of training. If we are getting people from an IT background, how we can bring them to the network knowledge. So we are building those cross trainings. Secondly, what we are doing is we are also, say for example, in some cases we are deploying vendor-specific products, whether it is an HP or Ciena and so on. So we are involving them as a part of the training. We are putting our people in those training forums or boot camps and so on. So
Yeah, vendor neutral and vendor.
absolutely, absolutely, and absolutely,
We'll talk some more. Thank
absolutely, yes.
Hi, Dan Pitt, also from MEF. Can you go back to slide number 6, please?
Oh, sorry.
Keep going. 6.
Yes.
Yeah. So your top bullet on the right of challenges mitigated, that's lack of open APIs. Say more about actually what you were looking for there, what the industry has not produced, and what you've done again to mitigate that?
Yes. So, so I'll give a specific example from our customers. Oops. Sorry. So what we have been doing in this area is, like say for example, if I need to integrate with an inventory system, I really don't have an open API that will give me the information that I need to pass to my orchestrator. In this cases, we had to really build our own custom APIs, whether it is, say, for example, it's an inventory system from Ericsson, it's an inventory system from MDocs, it's an inventory system from Oracle. You have no common set of APIs. So first of all, as a prerequisite, in some cases, we are doing the OSS consolidation so that we have a single source of truth, and then we can use one API to extract that information. In some cases, what we are doing with our customers is building an API platform itself, so that then it will expose the microservices. You can subscribe to what information you want, and the underlying system, whether it's southbound or northbound, can subscribe to it to get that information.
Let's talk afterwards, because I think the LSO Legato interface might be what you're looking for there.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will. Yeah, that's a good question. Say, for example, for Carrier Ethernet, ELAN, and EXS, I know MEF have published the open APIs. In this case, we are leveraging. The only thing that happened is we went in the journey of implementing it earlier before the open APIs were published, but we are on that process for MEF 3.0 to leverage them.
Way beyond Carrier Ethernet.
Yep. Okay, so let me talk offline with you on that. Any other questions that I can answer?
Any more questions? Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it's lunchtime. Thank you. Thank you very much.